Welcome aboard the Tabletop Express. We are here for On the Table. I'm joined by Michael and Judie, the Nerd Shelves. How are you both doing tonight?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to have you both here. Talk about some games we got to play in this past month. I'm guessing that we're gonna have a few familiar faces here. I already see that Mr. Coaster is here.
Mike Roaster.
So always great to see some familiar names, but excited for those who are attending their first episode of On the Table. This is just a casual chat about games we've played in the past month, our shared experiences, maybe with these collective games, and ultimately just a good time celebrating that joy that is board games. We do invite you, of course, to share the games that you have been playing. So please, when it comes down to it, don't hesitate to chat in the corner in that chat box and let us know some of the games you've been playing. This is not accurate. It's November, December. I didn't update that, but you get the idea. You get the idea. Share those games you've been playing. Before we get going, I do want to say one of the things you were talking about before as we're chatting was also thinking about, say, like, what do we play in this month? And very often you made a point, I believe at one point in the comments, and talking about it's those Christmas games, it's those holiday games, depending what you celebrate. So how many, I gotta ask, of those games from the holidays were you able to bust out to the table this January?
You know what?
Not many.
Yeah. We actually just play those games we already have.
Yeah. To be honest, I think we talked about this earlier. We got a little our whole family got a little sick over the holidays.
Yeah.
So we didn't actually play much at all, unfortunately.
And those Christmas board game from Santa, wink wink. We usually just play once or twice because most of them are really for family and
with
like
the kids.
The Telegraph.
Yeah.
And then we play twice and just put it away.
Yeah.
And then we dig out those older ones and just play more.
The old favorites, right?
Back to the classics, right?
Yes. Well, let's talk about some games we did play. I'm gonna start, I believe, with you. I believe this is your pick, Michael, but let's get it up there. A little bit
Definitely
of earnest.
Definitely my pick, not Judie's pick.
Definitely.
I actually have it right here too.
Yeah.
I had to bring the physical copy.
It's like you have to put it next to your pillow kind of thing. Love it so much.
Yeah, we did a video of our favorite game of 2021. And we had the board dad actually joined us with that one in Redford. This wasn't my pick, but it's definitely on there now. I think it's at least tied for my favorite game of 2021. Yeah. It's fantastic. Have you played it?
I have watched this get played, I believe, at PAX Unplugged. I didn't get to play it. It looked gorgeous. I got the sense of the engine building and all of the, the goodness that it obviously brought. But for me, it just unfortunately didn't get played. It was PAX Unplugged where the opportunity would have been.
Right.
So it will happen. This is one that I think about some of the other games like Oh My Goods and some of these other games that have engine building, and I'm immediately drawn to them. So I guarantee I'll enjoy this game. Ryan Clements, by the way, popping in. Good to see you, saying it is a great engine building bidding game. And I know you got to play it.
Yeah, the auction mechanic in it is what, I mean, I love economic games. I love engine building games. But the auction is what really drew me into this. Two things that I think are just phenomenal with this game. The auction, because you're auctioning for the cards that you want for your engine. But if you lose the auction, you still get compensated. So sometimes you're actually trying to lose cards on purpose for the compensation. So there's this other, you have to think, I don't really want that card. So am I going to bid a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to make sure I lose it?
Interesting.
Right? But if you bid with your 1, you get compensated once. If you bid with your 2, you get compensated twice for it. So you could potentially lose with your 3 and get triple the resources. It's such, I've never really experienced that before. It's fantastic. And the other thing that's amazing is it's an engine builder, but it's only 4 rounds.
Oh, so it's fairly, how long does it play in terms of
or normally?
Well, the docs say 30 to 60 minutes, but for us, you probably need to double that.
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah.
Well, you know, the other thing you noted with this one too was also, and I have it up on the right hand side, is that playmat that
Yes.
that and you shared the photo with me, and I could like almost feel the excitement for Discord when you shared that photo. So I had to hear about this playmat too.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you the reason why I actually have this here is because we got the playmat literally 12 hours before we did a live stream with this.
Receive it from courier.
And while we were in the live stream, Mick Roaster was there and Mrs. Roaster and a bunch of people that are in this chat. They told me, I didn't even know. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah, well, let's bring you. We can bring you a full screen.
There you go. Yeah. So I didn't know this. So here's the game. It's got a lovely little insert.
Lovely.
It's just perfect. But are you watching? When you take the insert out, there's the playmat. It fits perfectly under the insert.
Ooh.
It is amazing. Look at that.
That is pretty cool.
That the fact that it all fits in one space is fantastic.
100%. I mean, that's when they told me, I was like, no, get out. No way. No way. So I had to get the box out and try it. And I'm like, okay, it fits.
So it doesn't come with the playmat. You're getting it separately.
Yes.
But they show that you, and that sells it to you right on the spot, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Well, so if you look at the bottom of the insert, I don't know if you can see that or not. Try to get some light on it. It's hollowed out a little bit. So it's the perfect, it just fits perfectly in there. Yeah. So good.
Ryan popping in, pointing out that is efficient.
Very efficient.
Which is a good way to put it, Ryan. I've heard, I think this game's out there. People have talking about this game. And Sarah have a good point on this, which is when publishers put that much forethought into the games, because that is not something that everyone does. I even think about how often do we hear people saying, "Oh, I want to sleeve the cards. Does it work sleeved?" And you know, for those games with a lot of cards, that's obviously a lot more, common now than it was prior. But that thought ahead is important. And this one is obviously, I know, very popular. But speaking of popular, the next one that I know you wanted to talk about.
Wait, we're not allowed to talk about furnace anymore? No, I'm just kidding.
You can talk about it as much as you like.
I'm just kidding.
You already knocked the socks off?
Yeah, I already knocked my socks off.
But the one it's interesting. The next one that I know that you played, as I get this ready over here, is obviously a really popular one. It is also one that I know I've been having a few things on my own channel about. So to hear different perspectives on it actually excites me. And that's none other than Calico.
Calico. I play a lot because of kids. And I didn't expect them to get it because it has a certain level of difficulty. But holy moly, I'm not ashamed to say this. They beat me. They're so good at abstract. They actually beat me to it. So it's kind of easy to bring it out and play with them because A, it's cat. They love cats. And B, is abstract and they can make their own quilt and they're really into it. And they're trying to get those buttons, but they both play very differently. My older one is really working on the buttons. But my younger one is really working on the center 3 different tasks that you can complete. It's just amazing. I love playing with them for that.
And
what Judie doesn't realize.
I apologize. I would make sure we do put this out. Sarah mentions kids as well here. Love Calico better yet. My daughter loves playing it with me.
Yes.
Seems like a common thread with this one. So
it's surprising. I agree with you 100% that I was shocked at how well our kids did. But I was going to say what I think Judie doesn't realize is I think the reason why they do so well is because, like you said, they focus on one thing.
Yeah.
And everything else is a bonus. Where when we play, we tried to do everything and we always just end up messing it up.
That's interesting too, because it is a game that as I talked about this earlier this month with actually someone who's here. Hi. We chatted about this on the channel at the start of the year. And it was the first video of the year. And as we were talking about it, one of the things we talked about, it is a tight game. It's a strategic game. There's lots of ways to score, but it is easy enough to overthink it because you can think, oh, I really want to get this pattern. Oh, can I get this pattern and maybe score this at the same time? And you can get yourself, I think, so in the weeds at times that you completely ruin your own game.
It's so much. It hurt. I want to play it again now because I haven't played it in a while, but that's exactly it. It hurt my brain so much. I think I'm done with that for a little while. I saw Mrs. Coaster there in the chat say that likes Calico, but Cascadia even more. And I think that's for me where Cascadia, it's a bit more forgiving.
Yes.
Right. But I want to go back to Calico and do what the kids do and just, okay, I'm going to focus and just enjoy it. Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. Sorry.
No, go ahead. All I was going to say is you had mentioned the kids, and I will say I got a 3-year-old. We use it even just to match patterns and do things like that. I'm not even playing it the right way with her.
Right.
And that's okay. That's perfect.
Yeah, and it's getting them to pick up the pieces, right? And just play with it. And I think that's what's neat about these. These are these big, chunky pieces because I guess some people get very excited by the components and the quality of the components. There's no question. Cascadia and Calico both have these high quality components.
Yes. I think Flat Out Games did a really good job designing, and AEG, of course, the production quality is top notch. Yeah. So all those games with like Verdant and Cascadia, Calico, they're all really good. But I love this one.
I'm laughing at N20 games, Carl. My problem is usually underthinking.
Yeah.
Carl.
It is interesting though. You mentioned Verdant, which I'm excited about. I've heard, I forget who said this. Someone told me they think I may end up liking Verdant better than Cascadia, which I ended up liking better than Calico. And I'm like, how this can't continue to happen like this. I don't know how they can continue to do that, though. I'm starting to trust that will occur now. Because
it's similar but very different.
Yeah. Similar but different.
Yeah.
They share some of the same mechanics. Where we've only played Verdant a couple times. We had the prototype. We had to pass it on to somebody else, but it has that where you have, like in Cascadia, where you have to pick a group, where you have to pick one tile and one token below it, and you can't mix and match. It has that mechanic in it. But you're building a grid almost like a checkerboard pattern of rooms and furnishings and items.
Items or pets in the house. So that comes to similar to Calico, like patterns or So those three is comparable.
It is one of the things. Though someone I forget where, I think it was one of the Facebook groups I'm in was doing this. Do this buy, borrow, banish thing. And I remember like Calico, someone was suggesting to banish Calico. And I said, no, they like Cascadia and Calico both are like, there's so many other games I can consider banishing. That would not be the game. I'm sorry. And I know it's a joke, so obviously I don't take that too seriously, but it's one of those things. More to point out that they're very different. And but Calico's lovely. It is a favorite in my house. My copy is actually lent out right now to our children's librarian. So the games coming in out of my house to the library, and some just go and stay there. So
oops.
That's just what but I do like Mrs. Coaster's comment here. I think I must tend to play Calico like a child then, because I do not let it stress me out or think about it too much. We should all apparently play Calico like a child.
Like a child.
Yeah. And we got to bring this up. Ryan says something that I feel like I say all the time, but it's worth repeating, which is Beth Sobel's art. And there's not, you just say art by Beth Sobel. All right, I want to play that game.
right?
It's those 3 games. It's bizarre because Best Sobel did the art for all of them. They're lovely. They're gorgeous. It's the same team, and some of the designers of one aren't the designers of the other, but are still in the design team.
Yeah.
They're all so similar, but I think they're all worth having in your collection because they're different enough.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes. I agree.
It makes sense to me, and I think, again, I'd rather have a quality game in the collection, more than anything. There's a game, actually, I'll talk a little bit about in a bit, because I'm going to cover one thing different that I haven't done in the past, is make sure I cover a digital game, and by that I mean Board Game Arena, Steam, something on these episodes, just to cover something I played in that arena. Generally, I want to talk about something I played physically when I'm on here. And I kind of hinted before we went on about a little bit what I wanted to talk about. I had to talk about Rolling Realms because I did pick this up at PAX Unplugged. And Rolling Realms, Jamie Stegmaier, the story behind this one was so interesting, as this really was a print and play when it came out. He's making these little games during the pandemic that people could play. It turned into a really lovely production of a game.
Yes.
And I picked up PAX Unplugged, and I was excited to grab it because I had not had it yet. It was not showing up in my local game store where I prefer to buy if I can. And so I grabbed it immediately. It's like I have like copy 1005 of whatever first batch. Like, they're all labeled. There's something nice to that, just to be able to say, I guess. But I took this out, and it's one of those games that for me was such a simple concept, but works so beautifully that I can get anyone else to play it. I can play with mass numbers. I can sit here and say, hey, do you have this? Let's play it online, and let's get on Zoom. I'll roll the dice. Oh, you want to roll it? Okay, you do the dice, but it doesn't matter. And the other thing that you saw in there, I'll bring it back up actually real quick, is in the bottom right, there was this solitaire mini golf, but second hole killed me. I could not get the second hole. I got whatever. I don't even, maybe I was supposed to map it out at 4 actually, but the point being was I did not get that second hole. But that solitaire game is fun because it challenges you with certain goals, certain courses, and the community. And this is why I want to talk about this one. The community behind it is creating new realms all the time. So the life that this game has is just phenomenal.
Yeah. Did you know that there's going, because how every game card is themed to one of Stonemaier games, right? So there's the viticulture and scythe and everything. They're actually putting out, and might already be out already, they're doing a Rolling Realms themed card.
Yes, it's already out.
I think it's on the website, and then that's up there. You could get that with the tapestry. But when Jamie was on his own, when he was on his weekly stream, and our thoughts to Jamie, because Jamie recently had a loss. And I was thinking of him. I know he's traveling and not doing anything this week, but so you wouldn't be able to probably tune in this week. But when Jamie did do his stream, I had inquired, and he had responded to my question, and he said there's a lot more coming. He can't tell me what. And so in the chat, he wasn't telling us anything, but it sounds like a lot of realms are coming.
So we actually did this on one of our live streams, and we had a bunch. I mean, as some of the people that are in the chat here played along with us, and some of them played digitally, some played, it was fantastic. But somebody who's not here mentioned, and I think this is such a great idea, that every time Stonemaier Games produces a new game, they should just add a Rolling Realms card under the insert or something.
I mean, it makes sense as far as I'm concerned. Other games have done something similar to like additional pieces to their game. I think even the folks who did Merchant's Cove with their next game, if you backed it, you got another character that you could play in Merchant's Cove. So I mean, connecting the dots, it's not a bad business decision either, because you get someone interested.
That's right.
But for those who are loyal, I mean, you've got the Stonemaier champions that will probably buy all them anyways. So you may
exactly.
No, yes.
Well, we actually, so we get we do a lot of reviews for Stonemaier for Jamie. So so not a lot, but whenever we do one, review or playthrough, then we get something else, and we just kind of keep going. So we're getting a nice little Stonemaier collection. So I hope he puts those in there.
Big fan.
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, it's true what Mr. Coaster said. The whole community mini games is the other real big piece that I mentioned before, which is there's so many neat ones out there, and some may get an official version, but the fact is you're gonna have a ton of these out there, and always a lot of variety. And honestly, all you really need is a laminator, laminator and a printer, and you're good. You're gonna have a lot of variety in your gaming. So this is a good one. So this grabbed my attention. And I don't always do solo, but there's just some fun. And I will tell you, because I mentioned my daughter with Calico, what we do is I'm playing the game. My daughter's job is to roll the dice.
Oh, cool.
And so she loves it. She's like these big chunky dice. Let me roll these. And I'm like, all right, wait, let me mark my numbers down. All right, go ahead, roll again.
Slow down.
so she can, yes, it's slowing her down sometimes is the challenge. The other thing that I did want to mention, and I teased this for you both before, but that is I played this game. And that was Seven Wonders Architects. I played this on Board Game Arena. This is new to Board Game Arena. And I don't know where you both stand on Seven Wonders, the game itself.
Love it.
So I have Seven Wonders, and I have Seven Wonders Duels. Seven Wonders Duels is my favorite to play, quite frankly.
Yes.
I don't know what happened to me over time, but I stopped playing Seven Wonders. There was something for me. I have a great respect for the game. Incredible respect for the game. But Seven Wonders Duel became just a perfect two-player game. I play mostly two-player games.
Yeah.
This game, Architects, there's something just really neat about it that I enjoyed, which was the fact that you were in the game building up the actual wonders, and you're upgrading the pieces there. And apparently the insert is gorgeous. Like someone on the game was talking about how like each has its own separate thing that you take out. And so it sounds like it is just well done with the physical game. Having said that, the digital iteration of this is gorgeous. So if people get a chance to play it, I highly recommend it. I'm happy to play anyone on there if they like, but I found it really interesting. It is one where you have your wonders and you've got a card between you and the person next to you, and you can pick a card from the person on your right or the person on your left or from the main deck. So you do have a direct interaction, which I really liked, because you are got to be mindful. I'm not guaranteed to have that card. We had a situation where there were victory point cards in it. They're just straight up victory points, which is not a bad thing, but you are trying to build this up and complete your wonder as quick as possible. No one was taking them. So between me, I'm like, I need someone to take one of these victory point ones, because I just needed like one more brick to finish. And so I'm drawing from a main pot, but it had some fun moments. Ryan chimed in. He was part of this, by the way. This is his order. It looks like we got Carl coming in saying that it is an awesome franchise, and I agree. It's a great franchise. Duel, however, I will just say I love that experience. Also, great BGA game. But
I think when Judie said, "Oh, we love Seven Wonders," I think you meant Duel, right?
Yeah, Seven Wonders.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so you like so Seven Wonders itself. Again, I still have this great respect, but I don't know that I've played it in 2-3 years ever, or like really since I got Duel. Seven Wonders has kind of gone to the side. And actually recently I put it in the library pile, which is now like 25 games high of games going to my library. Because I still think it's a valuable game, but it just doesn't need to be in the house. Duel will be played.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different with Seven Wonders, because I actually a lot of people I know played Seven Wonders early when it first came out years ago, kind of when they were starting out, getting back into, modern games. It's one of those games. I played it much later. I didn't play it for so long, and it wasn't that long ago that I played it for the first time. So for me, it was fine.
Yep.
But I played it at a point where I had already so many other favorites, and I think Seven Wonders was great for a lot of people, and they really got them into the game,
Mhm.
into board gaming.
Yes, definitely.
And so it has that place in people's hearts. I'm not saying it's a bad game, and I'm not saying
Right.
people shouldn't enjoy it, but it was amazing, I think, for what it was when it came out.
It's some games get older over time. That's the reality. I think the credit to Seven Wonders as a franchise, it's evolved, and Architects is very fresh. I read one article that said it failed. It's a letdown, but everything else I read was really positive. So I forget what that one article was. But I it doesn't matter, because in the end, I really thought this was very refreshing. I liked it. And when it comes down to it, I agree. I probably edge Duel in front of it still, but if I was to have another Seven Wonders in my house, Architects would be one that I would like to potentially bring in.
I haven't played it yet.
My wish list, I guess.
There
is
you
what
go.
I'll say. You know?
Is it 2 to 4 players? Is it?
It is 2 to 7.
Oh wow, okay.
Because there are 7 wonders, so 2 to 7.
Clever.
It's okay, we don't have 7 friends.
We don't have 7 friends.
It does. I think it would play well. You know, it's interesting. The folks I was playing with, the one guy said it does play well with 2. So I'm not saying it's Seven Wonders Duel, but at the same time, playing well with 2 that's a good thing to me. And you can make the turns pretty quick. So I don't know how 7 players would play, but I imagine you can make these turns really quick. They're not.
I think so. Yeah.
It's just pick a card, right? For the most part, pick a card, and occasionally you're taking a science token. So it doesn't play much different if you've played anything Seven Wonders.
Okay. Well, I have to try it. Maybe we'll meet up on BGA and give it a try.
Always happy to play BGA. And that goes to anybody. Again, by the way, friendly reminder, if you've got a favorite game or 2 that you've played this month, I'd love for you to drop it in right now. The perfect time to do that as well, because I want to highlight some community picks. So we got some Rallyman GT in here. We got Sarah had mentioned Cape May as a favorite. I asked for one when I did this. You could mention multiple in the chat for what it's worth. Please don't. There's not like a hard rule here. Bill had mentioned Terraforming Mars, Ares edition, which, by the way, I love. And I am probably too hard on Terraforming Mars. It's just, even with Prelude, so long. But Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition, I bought this one on sale and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Still on my list to buy.
We haven't played it yet either, and I really, really want to.
I think I'm the first to say that I had an issue with. I got, not that the art impacted gameplay, but the inconsistency with the art in regular Terraforming Mars always drove me nuts. But the game, like it did, but the gameplay itself in Terraforming Mars, I enjoyed it. It's just sometimes the turns were so slow. And Sarah, by the way, chiming in, she mentioned Cape May, as I noted, but also Fantastic Factories. I have not even got to play base Fantastic Factories, and the designer was on the channel, and I still have not got to play it. I feel bad about it. But with the expansions, I know out, this has become popular with quite a few people who didn't even play it the first time.
Cape May is another one that I haven't tried yet that I really want to as well.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough on Cape May, and I'll go back to some community picks in a moment, but I'm lucky enough on Cape May to say that I worked the Thunderworks game at PAX Unplugged. So I was standing next to Cape May the entire time. I didn't get to play it though. I got to play it when I got home, and the copy I had ordered had just arrived while I was gone at PAX Unplugged. It is really good, very enjoyable. It's definitely different because you are moving using cards. And it feels old fashioned in that sense, but the game plays really well. There's a neat little mini expansion that you can get if you order directly from them too.
Cool.
Mr. Coaster, it's great. We haven't brought it to the table yet, but it's really fun and it is gorgeous. And I know I knew Ryan would mention this because he's been playing this. We had a game going and I canceled it because I didn't read the rules. Beyond the Sun on BGA. But I need to play that with Ryan because I do need to read the rules. That's what I need to do.
That's really interesting. I love that comment because I don't think it's hard if you play a game and like Ryan said, I was lukewarm on it.
Mhm.
I love the fact that you gave it another try, and then after a couple more plays, like, okay, I love this game now, right? Like that was us with Stegmeyer,
A lot.
the Stonemeyer game, the Civilization game. What's it called again?
Tapestry.
Tapestry.
We were
Oh
lukewarm
my
until we
God.
played it after the third time. Then we were like, I'm so glad I gave this another couple of plays, where a lot of
Yes.
people won't, right?
Almost in tear. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
Yeah.
So many.
I've heard so many different takes on that game, and I'm a fan of Stonemeyer games. I've heard so many different takes. I need to play it. That's on the list, and that's also, I believe, I can't keep track. There's so many great games on BGA now, so it's like
It is on
So
BGA.
many.
Yeah.
And Ryan has a good
correct
point.
you, though? You need to play it twice.
For me,
Ryan has
that's
a great
3 times.
point on this, that some games need replays. We actually, I don't know if I can say it officially, but I know Ryan and I are working on something where we're actually tackling that idea of challenging the idea that you may not like a game, and having some fun with that idea. So the running joke here is that I don't like Caverna. Yeah, he says do it. So yeah, we're basically gonna have a series where we're going to essentially challenge two people. We're gonna have two people on and challenge someone to play a game they say they don't like, and see if they can change my mind. And that's what it's gonna be all about. So
What a great idea.
we're kicking off with Ryan and me, and we're gonna play Caverna, and we're gonna see if in the end I come out liking Caverna better.
So how many times have you played it? Just once?
I've played it like 1.5 times, because I did it for once, and something happened in a half that
Like
clearly
flip the
soured
table
me.
kind of.
Yeah. So, but so that's the whole point, though, behind the whole thing of change my mind, of we're gonna have some fun with it. And Ryan himself didn't rate like Raiders of the North Sea particularly high, but he hasn't played with the expansion. So
yes.
I'm gonna bust out the expansions for him. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
You need that game definitely needs the expansions more than any other game I played, I think.
So good.
Yeah.
Yes. And here's another great comment on this topic. It's hard to pick up all the nuances of the game in just 1 or 2 plays. Yeah. Really good design will be discovered over many plays. And that is true. And I recognize that. That's kind of where the idea was born out of. We did have some other community picks that I shared. I do want to make sure I highlight that. Riley popping in with some Clank Legacy, and there's Mrs. Coaster with Savannah Park, which almost was going to be my pick this month.
Okay.
Savannah Park, fun, simple. And it's just easy to get to the table because it really is a very simple game with a lot going on in terms of the actual strategy itself. So I enjoyed that one, but easy to teach. That's the beauty of it for me.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. I love those games that we actually just did one last night on a live stream. Just a very simple, it's coming out to Kickstarter, but I love games that are super simple, super easy to teach. But then you're about halfway through the game and you start thinking, there's a lot of bite to this. This is thinky. I love that. I love it.
Yeah, there is in particular, I think, with Savannah Park, because when you're picking up pieces, you're saying, all right, move this piece. You could do so much damage to someone else on the board, but then they also have to figure out, where can I put this logically to still set myself up, because they're not completely out of it until it gets towards the end. Maybe when it gets a little bit tighter, Calico like in that way. Some great. We have a lot of comments here, so I do want to make sure I address it. Liz chime in, say Clank Legacy good. Savannah Park is one I want to play. Savannah Park, interestingly enough, I will say, Liz is coming over from a group of wonderful folks. They got a channel where they essentially play games over Zoom, and it's very zoomable because someone just has to make the call of what they're moving. So if you get everyone a copy, it's really easy to do. And I think that's really critical in terms of that case. But wow, so many comments. I love when we get the interaction. That is the best part of this, for my opinion. Can you, well, I have you here, and some folks are sharing some great things. I'll share some comments along the way. Can you tell everybody who may not know about the Nerd Shelves what you have going on and what you do over your channel? Because I definitely want to make sure we highlight one big reason I asked the Nerd Shelves over to this channel is arguably one of the most engaging groups I found on YouTube, and in particular in terms of that board game community. Really jumping in. You've come over to my channel before. I've seen you on others, and I think it's really meaningful. So I want to make sure you get a chance to talk a little about maybe just some of the stuff that you're doing and what your channel's all about.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was really nice. Well, if you have 7 hours and you want to watch a 30-minute gameplay, come watch our channel.
We make it fun in a long time.
So yeah, we're evolving. We're, like you said, it's the community. It's we really want to be engaging. We kind of evolve with just what people want. We started just kind of doing a few reviews, and then started the live streaming, and that's kind of been our new thing.
Yeah. We were there was a while we review games for Dice Tower, and we do playthrough, but it's more of not live stream, is on the video.
Right, edited.
Yeah.
Recorded.
So after a while, we decide, well, playing game might as well just kind of go live and see how it goes. And turns out it was so fun with all the chats. It would take longer, like double time of the gameplay, but it is so fun.
Or triple time.
Sometimes it's not about the games anymore. No. It's more of the chat, the interaction. That's what we are here for.
Totally.
It's the hobby that we all share. It's the passion that we all have.
Right.
And it's weird because during COVID, where social distance and not able to see family, friends, this become a very meaningful place and things to do for us.
Yeah.
If I explain enough.
So we do live streams every Wednesday and Saturday. And it is so true. I feel like every time we start live streaming and the chat shows up, I feel like we're sitting with old friends.
Right? It's not there in the house.
It's like you said, we don't have board game groups anymore. So
yeah,
I don't know. We love it. Yeah. So anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it really, I want to say, one, I appreciate you even coming here and chatting tonight, taking some time, because you do have a busy schedule. You definitely have a live approach to what you're doing, much like we have going on over here for the most part. And when it comes down to it, there is a great community around it. And I think, again, that engaging with the chat is always so critical. Engaging with that community. You think about some of the folks who came over here who I know have come on my channel before, but I knew I was joking prior with someone else and saying that, I bet you I'm going to see the coasters. I bet you I'm going to see, I knew certain people could see just because there is kind of this shared joy. But I
Sarah
appreciate it.
And Carl, and they're all from,
they're all here. Carl's here. He's saying pure awesome. See?
Yeah. We're only as awesome as our chat.
Yeah.
But
it's so good to become a chat squad.
The chat squad. That's right.
I want to make sure just for them.
I will say too, again, some great game selections too, and I appreciate the conversation on it. It sounds like we got a few people headed over to your channel now too, so that's good. That's what I wanted. Any games before we let you go, any games you're looking forward to maybe next month, something you're hoping to get to the table? I will tell you, for me, it's a little game that arrived. I was very excited about, Three Sisters. It took a trip around my town, I feel like, for like a week and a half, and sat 45 minutes away from me for at least 7 days, but it did get here. Three Sisters that's a very good chance that people will be seeing stuff on my channel about that very soon, because the designers are coming on the channel next month as it is. And we're also doing a video on Fleet the Dice game. So may as well throw in one more on that while we're at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I heard about that game. Is it already on Kickstarter or coming on Kickstarter, right?
So this one was on Kickstarter and it just delivered all the Kickstarters. It is gorgeous. I mean, I can just say, like, a really simple game. The dice are these beautiful, relatively, they look basic here, but they're much more, there's much more to them. They're gorgeous dice, with one of them being a pumpkin. So you can see the pumpkin. And I mean, it's a roll and write, but if you like Fleet the Dice game, my early impression is if you enjoyed something like Fleet the Dice game, you're going to like this game. It's got that same crunchiness
I can't play it.
That log with rolling dice.
No, it has pumpkins, and pumpkins reminds me of Quacks of Quedlinburg. And if anybody watched our live stream, I almost blew my stack.
Traumatized.
I can't draw those things, so pumpkins, I'm out. No. So I was laughing at Mrs. Coaster because Mrs. Coaster actually answered for me. It's kind of a joke from our channel when you said, "What are you looking forward to playing?" For me, it's Star Wars Rebellion, because Judie bought it for me 4 years ago for Christmas, and I still haven't played it, and she won't play it with me.
Oh man, you haven't, it is
Oh.
that game is so much fun. You feel like you're in the Star Wars universe when you play it.
Oh, I play with it.
Yeah.
I've never played it.
I have a photo of my son playing that game when he's like, he must be 3. He's young, and he's just moving the stuff around. Like, we weren't even playing the game. I've played the game. It is just it is, for me personally, the definitive Star Wars game. I want Outer Rim to be more than it is, and Outer Rim needs a little bit more as far as I'm concerned. But Star Wars Rebellion is great. Ryan does ask you about the expansion too. I don't know if he's asking you or me. I don't have the expansion. I just got the main one.
I feel like I've never played it because somebody will play it with me. But I feel like I could still answer this question because I've done a lot of research into it. I've heard, I can't tell you either way, but I've heard the expansion fixes the combat.
That's what I've heard as well. I have not played it. Oh, okay, he's not asking me. Well, you never know. Could be asking. He does. He has that. Ryan, thankfully, for those tuning in, Ryan is the co-conductor of this channel, and you'll be seeing plenty of him. He actually is doing these live teach Q&As now. Cool. Which are designed to be interactive in the sense of like really ask the tough questions, and we're doing those on occasion. So it does sound like Ryan and Ryan are both saying it fixes the combat. So there you go.
That's so funny. Not you, Chris. LOL.
Yes, not me. Oh, not important.
Too funny.
Yeah. Anything for you on the looking forward to playing?
Oh my goodness.
Pile.
What do you think?
We all know this year Shem Phillips are having so many new games coming out. Yeah. Right? I can see and hear deeply.
You see my wall of Shem?
Yeah, we've got a wall of Shem too. Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Apparently it's not a whole year, slowly, one at a time.
Between all the West Kingdom stuff coming out, and then the excitement behind the new series eventually.
The East, yes.
Like all that is so exciting. I'm excited that you both had the chance to join tonight and come aboard the Express and be here for On the Table. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time this evening.
Yeah, this is fun. I could stay and chat for hours.
I know.
It is easy enough. And I like when it comes down to it, a big reason this channel began was because there's a joy in gaming, and quite frankly, talking about the games we played is fun. And so why the hell not, right?
And I am answering. Ryan asked Nerd Shelves, have you played Bethel Woods? And the answer to that is no.
No.
Sorry. Yeah.
I have that's I'm also due to play that one, so he's asking me to play that too, and I need to play it. So I feel like I let Shem down on that one. I also didn't play Shelfie Stacker because I had backed it and never I neglected to actually fill out the pledge manager, so that's on me. I was getting the pledge manager messages later, but I'm like, I'm afraid if I fill this out that it's like this is just a pipe dream. It's not really going to come. So I don't know. I need to do that. But we do have a question from Mrs. Coaster, by the way, for you. If you've gotten Meadow to the table yet.
Not yet.
Nope. Still trying.
So plenty of games that you can look forward to down the road from the Nerd Shelves. Please, if you have not, go over, subscribe, check out their channel. They've got a lot of great content, and check their stuff live. That's always fun. Join the join the chat. That's all I can say. Join the chat.
Thank you.
We are actually, if I'm allowed,
Go ahead.
not really a plug, but just so people will know, on Saturday, our live stream will be doing a giveaway. Speaking of Shem, we are playing Paladins with the
expansion, City of Crowns
expansion.
Nice.
But we have a Paladins and a Viscount in Shrink that we'll be doing a live giveaway, and the winner gets to choose which base game they want, and we'll ship that off. So
yes,
there you go. So
Yeah.
if you've tuned in live to this, then go do that. If you're watching this later, it's January 27th. So
yes.
maybe that will
There's a chance
help
to
you.
get a game.
Yeah, just so you don't. I mean, you should go check out their channel anyways. I shouldn't even say that.
Yes, that too.
Just go check it out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I want to thank everyone in the chat. This has been fantastic. It's so good to see everybody. Next month on the table, Jeremy Howard is going to be joining, and Ryan is going to be on the chat with me. So Espen's going to be up here with me, and Jeremy Howard's going to be hanging out with us, and we're going to be talking about some games that we played. So check back then. That's going to be the end of next month. The link is already on our YouTube channel. I'm going to thank my guests tonight for being here, and I want to thank all of you for popping in, and I appreciate you taking the time to come aboard the Express. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.